To talk more about these issues and much more, Democratic Congressman Khanna of California, a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Congressman, thank you so much for coming back on the program. It's good to see you again. Let's start there on infrastructure. 10 Democratic senators have come out in support of the infrastructure plan, negotiated by a bipartisan group of senators. You and other progressives, though, have come out against it. Make the case for us why.
Well, it's a non-starter for two reasons. First, as your reporter highlighted, it taxes working-class Americans who have 30-minute, 40-minute commutes to work because they can't afford rents in urban centers. Why in the world would you put a tax to build American infrastructure on the working class instead of taxing the billionaires and the wealthy who have done extraordinarily well, made trillions of dollars in the pandemic, haven't paid an appropriate amount of tax? Let's tax them to pay for the infrastructure. Second, the bipartisan plan has no meaningful investment in green infrastructure. And if anything, it's taxing electric vehicle use, which could actually slow down our commitment to renewable energy and electric vehicles. So the way it's drafted is just not a non-starter. Now, if they make changes, we will consider it.
So you also probably just heard my colleague there talk about and report on the divide between, as you mentioned, progressives and moderate Democrats over the size and scope of an economic recovery package that would include infrastructure and help for families, among other things. President Biden has put forward a $4 trillion package. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who is in the progressive camp, says that could go as high as $6 trillion. What are you looking at when it comes to the size and scope of this package? What do you want to see in?
Well, the bigger and the bolder, the better. But let me put two red lines, I think, for progressives. First, no climate, no deal. Any infrastructure package has to have bold investments in climate. Second, no progressive taxation, no deal. You can't tax the working class to pay for this. We need to have higher taxes on the wealthy. We need to have higher taxes on big corporations. Those are the two core principles that unify progressives as we have a negotiation about what this infrastructure package should look like.
Switching gears for a moment, you are also a member of the Oversight Committee, which is obviously looking into the January 6th riot. The Justice Department has released new body cam footage from that day at the request of NBC News and other news organizations. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. We have it there on the screen. We do want to warn our viewers that the video is hard to watch. And the video shows a former Marine and New York City police officer screaming at Capitol Police, rushing them with a flagpole. Now, even though there is plenty of video just like this that has already come out, some of your Republican colleagues continue to deny the events of that day till today, saying that these were peaceful protests, with one describing, I'm sure you've heard, what happened as a tourist visit. Have you tried to talk with them about it? And does this video and others strengthen the case for an independent commission to investigate the January 6th riot?
Well, it's outrageous what the Republicans are saying, but it's not having any credible effect because every American has seen this on television. You can't contradict the images. This was an insurrection. This was people using armed force to storm the Capitol. They wanted to assassinate Vice President Pence. They wanted to kill members of Congress. They killed Capitol Police, and people saw this with their own eyes. So those who are saying these outrageous things or speaking to a fringe and really have no credibility. I mean, how can you have a conversation with someone who is not willing to acknowledge reality?
Yeah, but just to be clear, Officer Brian Sicknick, at least according to the autopsy report, died after and not as a result of any specific attack on January 6th so far. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not talking about
is that what you're referencing when you is that what you were referencing when you were saying, you know, killing a police?
I'm going to say that 5 police officers died as a result of the attack. I mean, there were people, civilians and police officers, who were killed as a result of the attack.
Just wanted to make sure I understood that clearly. Congressman Khanna, thank you so much. I appreciate your time as always.
Thank you.